Ladies and gentlemen, you already know when you hear them signs blow, it's time to go. It's like the Popos, it's Corey E, it's NXT, it's Stand and Deliver. What a night, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Are you not entertained by our matches? We're about to get into it. As always, on Twitter, at TooSweetPod. New Twitter name, personal Twitter, at Corey B. Lee. Check it out. I like to have a lot of fun. I like to live tweet. So come on down, join the party. And speaking of a party, it was a party last night, ladies and gentlemen. We had a good time. First up, it was Kushida. It was Pete Dunne. And every match, there was a story to every match, man. That is what I like most about this pay-per-view. And the story with Kushida and Dunne was that this one was the technical masterpiece. Every story, every match had a story that stood out. This was the one that went back and forth, chain reversals, chain submissions. I absolutely loved the pace of this match. I absolutely loved as well an underrated aspect. It did not overstay its welcome. So, man, this one, it was just a perfect match to completely kick off the show. Pete Dunne gets the victory here. No surprise there. Bitter end ends it. And a fantastic match, man. Just the way to kick it off. You knew after this match, you knew, all right, we in for some good stuff tonight, man. And speaking of good stuff, moving on, we had the gauntlet match. Winner gets Johnny Gargano. Had a brain freeze right there. Winner gets Johnny Gargano at night 2. It was on, man. We had Swerve taking out Leon Ruff from the beginning. They got Leon Ruff out there, bruh. Bruh. We had a nice back and forth with those guys. This was, and I was speaking of the story of each match, this was the match that was just going to be crazy. There's going to be action everywhere. Like it just action all over the place. Just chaos. Controlled chaos, that is. And I absolutely love this match. Look, I got to say that Dexter Lumis, when he got eliminated, I was very surprised, I got to say. Because you've been building this story with Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis, The Way and Dexter Lumis, and we're not going to pay it off at NXT Takeover, the WrestleMania week takeover. Like, I found that very strange, man. That's just me. Just so many great spots in this match, man. The triple suplex that we saw, just great spot after great triple German suplex that we saw, excuse me. Great spot after great spot. It came down to Bronson Reed. It came down to Swerve. And Bronson Reed picks up the victory. And I gotta say, I don't hate it, because I like what they've been doing with Bronson Reed. They've been building him up. And I can appreciate when you build up somebody, you want to go all the way with him. I just thought that Dexter Lumis was the better call here, but nevertheless, I'm satisfied. Bronson Reed is going to go on, and in my estimation, he's going to go on and defeat Johnny Gargano night 2 NXT Takeover. We'll see what happens, but nevertheless, an awesome match, man. Just you're out of breath after watching that match. And speaking out of breath, man, Ciampa versus Walter, man. The story of this match, brutality, utter brutality. Now I gotta say something here. Then I'm gonna get to the good stuff. I'm gonna sound like a little hater right here. I'm sorry, but I think Walter is overrated, bruh. I just think the dude is overrated. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. He can sell in that ring. He's good at selling in the ring. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of people talk about him like he's either he's the greatest big man on the planet or one of the greatest big men on the planet. Now, I've heard that tremendously left and right, but I just don't see it, man. And when I look at his matches are great. Don't get me wrong, but every one of his matches that I've personally seen, it is a much more athletic version of Andre versus Hogan. The big man uses his brutal strength to impress everyone, and the smaller man makes the match exciting because he can pick up the big guy and get some falls, some near falls, or the fall. So, like, I like his matches. I like this one. It was extremely brutal. Don't get me wrong. I love the match. The super air raid from the top rope. How about that? Once again, the smaller man making it impressive. He can pick up that big guy. How about that? It was very impressive. Great near fall. I thought the match was over right then and there. Don't get me wrong. I love Walter's chops. Don't get me wrong. And the fact that the dude chopped the table and broke it in nearly in half. Like, I like that as well. I thought the match should have been over. When you hit the double power bomb, double leg kick, they should have ended it right there. One too many near falls. Nevertheless, Walter picks up the victory, and it was absolutely brutal, absolutely gloriously brutal, and beautiful. Easy for me to say. Just I loved every bit of it, man. And Ciampa, I kind of felt like he had started to become a gatekeeper in NXT. Nevertheless, this match hopefully gives him some momentum, and we'll see what happens with Ciampa. We'll see what happens with Walter as well. He retains the 2-year streak still intact, and man, I love the match. Got a lot of stuff going on outside of my house right now. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Nevertheless, we move, tag team triple threat match, and man, just the story. Like, we came off of brutality, and we're sitting back. I'm like, oof, man, brutal match. I just loved every bit of it, and what we got here was exactly what we needed. We needed cruiserweight fast, and that is exactly what we got, man. The story of this match is just balls to wall, just fast. And I mean, you couldn't even catch your breath. You couldn't even blink, because if you blinked, you missed something. Just an outstanding match. What I didn't expect was the story that was going to be told in this match, man. I appreciated the story, man. I loved every bit of it. The Wes Lee and his hand. Grizzled young vets. I act on the injured hand, and they told a story there, man. And like, Wes had to be stopped from tapping out. Like, some great storytelling right there, man. I loved it. And we get down to the end, we had all of these spots, man. And I won't even bore you by going through every single spot. But every one of the tag teams, all 3 tag teams look outstanding. So I can appreciate that in the storytelling. But we came down to the end, and we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Finals all over again. And MSK goes on to pick up the victory. I thought it was fairly obvious that they would go on to win. But look, sometimes, or nearly all the times when there's an obvious choice, go ahead and make the obvious choice. It's the right choice to make. I don't even need to get cute to pick the obvious choice. MSK picks up the victory. Wesley, Nash Carter, these guys, I've been following them since Impact Wrestling, the Rascals, and I knew when they went to NXT, I was like, they are gonna knock it out of the park. They have been knocking it out of the park. They deserve those tag team titles. And this man, after this match, I will go on to say that tag team triple threat was the best match of the night. I gotta, that's just the way I feel. The best match of the night. I won't say by far, but it was the clear best match of the night for me in my estimation. MSK picks up the victory, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we had the main event. We had the ladies night. We main event. Io Shirai, they main event. It was great. Raquel Gonzalez, Giant Gonzalez. You gotta see it, man. Ladies taking the main event, showing them what it's all about. And I'm sitting here, and I made a video on YouTube saying, is it time for Io Shirai to lose that title? And I came to the conclusion that yes, it is time. It is this takeover. It's the biggest takeover of the year. Normally, it's like WrestleMania, man. When you have a long streak, you gotta end it at WrestleMania. You gotta put somebody over on the grandest stage of them all. I think that's what's gonna happen to Finn Balor tonight as well. That's just my take. But Io Shirai, it was time. Nevertheless, we got an awesome match, man. Io Shirai, with no regard for human life, diving off the top of that skull, man. Like, goodness, 20 feet in the air, man. If JR was out there, he would have said, they talk about how wrestling is that, is wrestling is this and that, but they don't teach you how to fall 20 feet in the air. That's what JR would have said, man. But nevertheless, I knew something was up when Io Shirai hit that moonsault and we got a kick out from Raquel Gonzalez. I was like, uh-oh, they're about to go with this. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Raquel Gonzalez, Stein Gonzalez picks up the victory. And you know what? There were a lot of people upset about this on Twitter. Like, man, how Io Shirai lost the title. Like, look, man, there are just times where it is just time to put someone over. Io Shirai's streak over that championship lasted for God knows how long. And it was time to put someone over. Raquel Gonzalez needed the big win. Sometimes you need the big win on the big stage to get you to the next level. That's how it works at WrestleMania a lot of times. And that's how it will work at this NXT TakeOver Stand Deliver. Raquel Gonzalez is going to go to the next level. There are plenty of competitors in the women's division for her to have awesome matches with. And yes, I am very satisfied. I'm very happy that she picked up the victory in the main event of night one. So that is it. That is the review, man. I was floored last night, man. When the credits popped up and the show was over, I was like, man, how am I supposed to sleep, man? How in the world am I supposed to sleep after all of that? Just an incredible burst of energy and an incredible night of wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think, whether that's on Twitter, you see it down below at the screen, at Corey B. Elite, or at Too Sweet Pod as well. Let me know what you think, or on YouTube as well, ladies and gentlemen. NXT TakeOver. They stood, they delivered.